Jennifer Aniston is in the news, ladies and gentlemen. She said that she feels like she's going to get canceled because she's not a fan of cancel culture. Where's Piers Morgan when you need him?
Yeah, she's going to go on Piers Morgan next.
Didn't she try to cancel everybody who didn't want to take the shot?
Yes. I mean, most of them did.
So this doesn't mean anything.
2 weeks ago, when Jennifer Aniston was trying to cancel Jamie Foxx for an anti-Semitic post.
That was like less than a week ago. That was like,
and it's like ancient history now. But people are remembering. People know. Okay, she was trying to cancel Jamie Foxx literally 2 weeks ago, and now she's dodging accountability for that. And people are also bringing up that she's like liking posts that hate on Meghan Markle. That's good in my book. Also, like accounts that hate on Amber Heard. And she was liking posts about Angelina Jolie's allegations of abuse against Brad Pitt.
You do understand that all of this really just, it reinstates the idea that one thing Hollywood has done in the last 5 years to 10 years is they've tried really hard to pretend that all women just like each other because they're women. They're like, look at these women. The whole Taylor Swift speech from 2019 is like, look at all these women supporting other women. Look, it's not the real world. Right? And that's not to say that women don't like each other. I'm just saying that we all know that there are very few things cattier than women who don't like other women. It's just the way of the world. And to pretend like that's just not a truth is irrational and very clearly motivated by political and social factors.
I think Jennifer Aniston is just a run-of-the-mill like person of her generation, right?
Gen Xer. I think.
She's a Gen Xer, right?
She's either Gen Xer or like a late boomer.
She's gotta be a Gen X. She's like in her 50s.
Okay, Gen Xer.
Most like Gen X or boomers are just kind of generally anti-cancel culture, generally, you know, pro freedom of expression.
Not the women.
Kind of
not the
just
women.
Like liberal.
But she's too plugged into the Hollywood thing to like kind of understand what she's even saying.
Liberal women in Hollywood, regardless of generation, still end up nuts. Kind of, they do. The men are just as bad because they're probably not that way, but they have to pretend like they are because they don't want to get in trouble from the Hollywood machine. Yeah. But the women's instinct, especially the motherless woman's instinct to protect everyone by being extremely oppressive is runs deep in Hollywood, right? They want to save every. You know what video's been making the rounds again lately? Is that video from 2020 of the girl with the BLM face paint?
Yeah.
That
I've seen like 30 times.
That video's been making the rounds again, and that perfectly encapsulates. That girl was like 20 years old. Every single woman in Hollywood would make that video if they were asked to make it. Yeah. They would do it without hesitation.
Because they're that tone deaf.
Because they're that tone deaf. And they would believe 110% that they were changing something by doing that. One thing I've noticed, I tweeted yesterday. I didn't make a tweet. I tweeted yesterday that I added more things to IMDb trivia sections. No need to thank me. I'm just happy to help
the thankless
world.
Job.
It is. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. But if you go on IMDb, they allow for celebrities to self-verify their gender identity. I'm going to let you guess which gender is more likely to self-verify their gender identity. It's women.
It's the women.
The guys don't care. They will virtue signal if their manager puts a gun to their head and says virtue signal. But in general, sure, there's nutsos. There's Mark Ruffalo's all over Hollywood. Sure, we know that. But the women are more likely to actually believe it.
Okay, I just want to read her actual quote here. She said, "I am so over cancel culture. I probably just got canceled by saying that."
Can we?
I just don't understand what it means. Is there no redemption? I don't know. I don't put everybody in the Harvey Weinstein basket.
Unless you're Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. It's anti-cancel culture for me, but not for thee. Yeah. And then she goes into her thoughts on the Me Too movement, basically, and her experiences interacting with Harvey Weinstein in the past. She said, he's not a guy you're like, I can't wait to hang out with Harvey. Never. You were actually like, oh, okay, suck it up. I remember actually he came to visit me on a movie to pitch me a movie. And I do remember consciously having a person stay in my trailer. But she clarified that she never had any uncomfortable instances with Harvey Weinstein.
If anything,
it's like he was always nice to me.
Like Justin Bieber was saying. Like if anything, this is worse. If anything, this is like downplaying and like just like
it's like, oh, he was kind of a jerk.
I'm saying it's downplaying the behavior of all the people that let it happen in the 2000s and the 90s.
Right, and downplaying her own, like, being complicit in his serial abuse.
Yeah.
Which everybody knew about. And she, like, that's something that you should legitimately get canceled for, is being complicit in abuse. I mean, Paris Hilton did the same thing. She said, oh, I was at Cannes when I was 19 or whatever, and Harvey Weinstein wanted to bring me up to the hotel room to pitch me a movie or like get me to read scripts. And she's telling this story now, like that she's in her 30s or 40s or whatever, acting like it doesn't make her look just as bad as everyone else in that slimy industry who was ignoring it the entire time, knowing full well what he was up to in those hotel rooms.
But Jamie Foxx is canceled because he made a tweet she didn't like.
Yeah. But Jamie Foxx is canceled because he made some stupid analogy about his friend being a Judas.
Chris Bertman in the chat says, if we get 5 crisis parties, I'll cut my hair.
Yeah, I'll cut it.
Like all of it off? Like bald?
I'll cut it.
You're not going to go bald.
What were my words?
I mean, how much are you going to cut it?
I said I'll cut it. I never said how much.
These are weasel words, ladies and gentlemen.
I never said they
weasel
weren't.
Weasel words.
I never said they weren't, but
you
hey.
You got to make them want it.
Well, do they not want me to cut my hair?
They want to know how much.
Yeah.
Enough.
It needs to be extreme.
Yeah.
Enough. Noticeable.
She's very clearly doing this in a way
this tweet said, isn't this the same Jennifer Aniston who cut ties with friends and family members because they didn't want to get the vaccine? And the same Jennifer Aniston who tried to cancel Jamie Foxx a few weeks ago. Yeah. Her cancellation is selective. In fact, she only cancels women and black people because she loves having abusive white men as pets. Meanwhile, she laughs at abused women like Amber Heard and Angelina Jolie, I presume, but pretends to be a feminist.
Yeah, Amber Heard is not a victim.
Yeah,
sorry.
No.
I mean, Angelina.
They're mad at her because she follows Johnny Depp on Instagram.
Oh,
I guess
that's too bad.
There are better things that we could worry about.
And I mean, it's not just this in the news, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see that Gina Carano responded to Rachel Zegler being ostensibly canceled in Hollywood lately because Rachel Zegler back in 2020 was all too happy to laugh at Gina Carano for getting in trouble with Disney.
She subtweeted Gina Carano very hard at the time. And I just hate this like new language of Reddit speak. She said, "Do not make fun of pronouns. They are not a joke. Pronouns are validating. Pronouns are cool. Put your pronouns in your bio. I wear my pronouns on a button sometimes. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Bye." It's
bye.
a fun time to remind you all to love Pedro Pascal.
You know what it reminds me of? It's when people say, I don't need to hear this. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm like, just say what you're going to say. Shut up. That's not a thing.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but your mom.
Yeah, exactly. So and then Gina Carano just responded with the GIF. Boop. Yeah, so good for her for getting the last laugh in here. And nobody likes Rachel Zegler these days because Rachel Zegler's insufferable.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it because, like, she has some level of talent. She's gotten this platform. She's attractive, young, has her whole life ahead of her. And she's just choosing to throw it all away on acting like an evil queen.
She looks like Skeletor.
What do you mean?
Pull a picture of Skeletor.
You mean
pull up
like
a picture of her? She looks like
her
Skeletor.
teeth?
No, just her the shape of her
The shape of her face. Like her skull looks like...
He's not wrong.
Thank you, King.
Okay, she's
still pretty, but he's not wrong.
Like,
Yeah, a pretty Skeletor.
She's a very attractive Skeletor.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, if you're pretty, there's no reason to act like this.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's called insufferable entitlement from the newest generation of people who are growing up, who are becoming famous in the age of Reddit and in Hollywood.
Was socialized by Tumblr.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh, that was the funniest thing about the thing we covered yesterday was they said that Taylor Swift responded to finding out that she didn't get to buy her music on Tumblr.
Taylor
I was
Swift
like, what the hell?
Yeah, Taylor Swift is notoriously super active on Tumblr. Has always been for many years.
Tumblr's still a thing?
That's still a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I just hate this like neo Reddit Tumblr right language where you end every sentence with an exclamation point.
I literally just did that.
And you talk like you're expecting a laugh track to come after every line.
Yeah.
Like that's how she was talking in that one interview.
I mean, they all talk like they're on Twitter
She's like,
too.
He was a stalker. Like she's doing her own laugh track as she talks.
Yeah.
They're
It's
saying,
just such an inhuman reaction.
and it's not going to make you likable, but I guess like for a certain amount of people, you don't have to worry about being likable because you're insulated by the fame you've reached or the level of success you've reached, and you're not going to have a problem with that. So they don't have to care the way certain people do.
Jennifer Aniston doesn't have to care about being likable anymore because she's got it made at this point.
Go on. I thought you were
No,
going to say
that was it.
something. Yeah, I would love to see a little bit of. I guess it's hard to expect. Like our attention spans are so short now. Like I forgot about the Jamie Foxx thing. I legitimately that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I already forgot.
Yeah.
So they're just like they take advantage of the fact that they expect people to not remember.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have a long memory. But this, like, I'm actually of the opinion, like, a lot of times, like, I understand why people prefer to have the long memory, but I feel like I'm happier not having the long memory. Like, that way I'm not outraged every time they say something or do something.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't remember that Jennifer Aniston said that, and I was happier because of it. Right?
You're like blissfully unaware, like a goldfish
That's me, Mary. I'm
swimming through the world.
Exactly. That's me. It's perfect. How did you know? Yeah, so I think we need to see the women in Hollywood be a little bit more on the ball.
Like have some humility.
Yeah.
You know, like she's denouncing cancel culture because she doesn't want it to happen to her. She doesn't particularly care
She's still mad about
whether
that.
it happens to somebody else.
She's still mad about that. People being mad about that all-white Friends dinner.
Yeah. The Friends reunion dinner that wasn't a Friends reunion dinner.
She was very. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. She was very upset about that. And then also they get like every few years, like it comes up where they're like Friends was too white, and then they get dragged for it. And I remember like during 2020 they were doing a thing where they're like I don't remember which one it was. I think it was David Schwimmer was like, yeah, they should remake Friends, but like inclusive. And everyone's like, yeah, they should.
Which means no more white people.
and let's face it wouldn't be funny anyways because Friends wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't. Maybe we just had less options at the time.
Friends wasn't funny.
There were less options available at the time, and so people just all watched the same thing.
Wait, you're a Friends guy? You like Friends?
I'm not like a mega fan, but like it's funny enough. I don't understand why people say it's not funny. I'm like, I never said it was like the most funny thing, but like it's for sure entertaining.
Chat, what say you? Is Friends funny? I would be interested to know what their thoughts are on that. Like whether they think Friends was actually funny. But I guess
the consensus has officially shifted.
I like every girl I've ever known loved Friends.
That's how
Or
I
The
started
Office.
watching it.
Like
But I think The Office is legit funny.
I've never seen The Office.
every girl I know has loved Friends, I guess. So, it's for them. It's not for me.
Is it a show for girls?
I don't know. Guy, is it
Yeah. Okay, I got introduced to it from an ex-girlfriend like 14 years ago, and then one of our couple friends back home, shout out to Kira, she is obsessed with it, so there might be something to it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.